2020.
Final Chapter 2020.
I don't think niggas didn't know we wasn't getting a sequel.
Right, like Trump over here talking only for 60 seconds, and like I said, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to
Yeah.
Oh,
Let me see. Let me fuck with these lights for a second. Cause this shit dark as fuck over here. That's too bright. All right. See, man, always the downcast, the shadow right here.
it. Right.
Shit pisses me off. Fuck it. Yeah, man.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, hey, before we forget, let's do the intro.
Yeah, no. We ain't gonna forget this week. I've been fucking up last. Part of me was like, fuck it. I guess we just don't do the drop no more. All right. Welcome back to the TWEOM podcast. I'm your host, Joel Morris.
It's your other host, your favorite host, the one and only Louis XV.
And it's the best host.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. That this nigga Lou intro get longer and longer.
Right. Hey. We're gonna have AKAs.
Nigga got 3 sentences in his introduction.
Wife beater wearer, headphone user.
Facts.
For real. People wonder if this nigga, if you watch this podcast at this point, you wonder if Lou got a shirt. Or this nigga just do wife beaters everywhere.
This nigga got wife beaters and hoodies. That's it.
Outside in the middle of December, wife beater on. Just ready, young.
Different color white beaters.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
man, but how y'all been though?
About as good as you could be with, everything going on in the world.
True.
Of the world, because of the world.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. Good as I can be.
That's good.
Pretty much, yo. It's that's how I feel at this moment in time. It's like you're about as good as you could get. I mean, that's how we've been this whole fucking year. Like, we started the podcast on that shit for real.
Look, niggas was struggling then, we struggling now.
Facts, man. The struggle is always persistent, is always real.
Absolutely.
So where you guys want to get started today? So one of y'all broach a topic. Let's get popping, man.
Just finished that Obama interview, so that's still pretty fresh on my mind.
Oh yeah, I watched that joint like about a couple hours ago too. So
okay, man. Yeah, I wasn't able to catch that, man. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I knew this nigga. I knew Lou wasn't gonna have them albums and Walt wasn't gonna have the Obama interview.
Damn, all right, Joe.
I wasn't tripping off the albums, but I did want to watch that interview because
I knew Lou was gonna watch that joint, even if it was like right before we clocked in. He was gonna watch that joint. And then I was like, Walt ain't gonna watch that shit.
Nah, not yet. No, I'm gonna take my own time with it.
Yeah. But I hate this. Like, we can never dive or talk substantially about anything because one of us
said that shit like 30 seconds ago. Like,
no. First and foremost, Walt, the onus is on you since you're not on social media no more to stay abreast of shit popping. Yeah? Like,
you know how much shit is? It's like popcorn. Like,
no, I understand it. So this is why I realized I'm gonna start sending. I think the way we could pick our topics is if we send rumor reports and headlines from the Breakfast Club through YouTube clips.
Facts. All right.
Like I said earlier, I figure those are nice little tidbits of you get enough of what's going on in the culture through rumor report, and you also get enough of what's going on in the macro through the rumor report.
I got you.
So I think those are good ways to stay abreast of what we might be discussing.
What did Obeezy talk about? First off, a president going to the Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
Obama.
Obeezy went to the Breakfast Club.
Like,
for sure.
2 terms.
For me, it's not necessarily what Obama was talking about. It's what they asked him to talk about. That's how it is with figures who are just constantly getting interviewed. I'm going to see the questions, not the answers per se. Because what I liked about the Breakfast Club interview, they spent a long time in the space of why did you operate the way you did when you was in office? What about the things you did for Black people, and how that the mentality Obama has. And I'm not gonna lie, I think this is what kind of throws me off. Sometimes you can be so cynical in your own personality that you don't think that someone, as they present themselves, is who they really are. And I think Obama truly is an optimist.
Yeah.
And I realize this. You have to be to want to be the first black president, because you would have to have the optimism to think they're not going to shoot me. And I always think of so basically that's what they spent a long time in the wheelhouse of, him being the first brother there. Why ain't you cut the check? That's pretty much what the more meatier part of the interviews were about. And his book is sort of espousing upon that. And this is why I think he waited the 4 years for Trump to be gone. Because now that he got you on the end of that bender that was the Trump presidency, he can hit you with and look, here goes your Alcoholics Anonymous. This is how you get yourself fixed. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of why I think he did the 4 year window. What'd you take away from it, Lou? What was your kind of thought process while you watched it?
Well, first of all, like I said, I just watched the joint, and to me, I'm always looking for like, what is the thesis of this thing I'm watching, this thing I'm reading? And to me, there's a sentence in there where he says, and this is a very poignant point, whatever. He says something to the effect of like, it's impossible to fix in 8 years what's happened in the past 200 years. So one thing I hear from niggas all the time is like, oh, what do you do for black people? What do you do for black people? He had 8 years. I'm like, and then here's another point that he said that kind of counteracted the point I just said, which is like, you know, I was the president, the most powerful office in the land. And then he corrected himself by saying, but, you know, I still need Congress. You know what I'm saying? I think it's very selfish of niggas to be like, what Obama do for people in 8 years? When, one, you know what it's like. If you know anything about American history, you know what it's like to be the first black anything in this country.
Yeah, he talked about Jackie Robinson.
And he wasn't, I was just listening to a podcast today. Jackie Robinson wasn't even the first like Negro in the major leagues. It was some other dude that was passing as white, but he was believe he was like biracial, but they broke him. Like they broke that nigga's spirit. So Jackie Robinson is the first nigga in the league that took all this shit and persevered. But that's a topic for another day.
So what you telling me is they broke the light skinned nigga?
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly
it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, they did. That man was fucked up.
I saw the Drake right now.
Hey, you know what? Because I saw like a Drake-esque nigga, just like his head sulking in a baseball uniform, just like, man, they won't let me play.
But to get back to the interview though, because I think it was great.
It was a great interview.
He said,
one of my favorites.
He talked about how, you know, being the U.S. president is the most powerful office in the land. But if you look at Trump, who we thought was like this bastard who just didn't care about nothing, he was breaking all the laws, like everything he tried to do, none of that shit got passed. Like we thought, like what was his Muslim ban or whatever when he first got into office?
The Muslim ban.
Yeah.
The court shut that shit down too and said it was unconstitutional. So like there is only but so much. It seems like a very infinite amount of power to be the U.S. president, but it's really not, bro.
The irony of it is this that I was taking away, because you just brought a good point up. I think black folks, sometimes I realize the Obama didn't do anything for us. First of all, that's what the bots reinforce in the comment section all the time. It's the go-to line for these Russian trolls. So it's going to stay in the zeitgeist of our brains because we just always seen it in the comment. The algorithm feeds it to us, right? And second, the notion that I hear most people talk about, first of all, if you don't really know how government works and you say, what did Obama do for us? I am now understanding that you only are talking about in representation. And this is what we're talking about to this point, right? Which is when he brought up Jackie Robinson, he said, Jackie Robinson's first brother. So as a result of that, when somebody slides in trying to take his knees out, Jackie's not going to, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? He's going to have a more diplomatic, reserved approach to it, right? Because all eyes on him. And what I took from Obama basically saying, like, when people say, oh my God, he didn't do anything for us, what Trump did for these white folks is talk like they talk behind closed doors. That's what he gave them. And I realized that's what black folks wanted from Obama. We wanted a candidness and blunt dialogue when it comes to racism. And his whole point is, look, we can't, because these crackers is crazy.
Yeah.
That's what the whole interview was basically. Charlamagne even talking about. He said, how come we always got to placate to these racists? And Obama was like, look, man, we talking about politics. He said, when you an activist, when you a radio personality, when you're an actor, when you're you can go ham. You can just worry about black folks riding with you, whatever. But when you're a politician, you need a coalition of the masses. So you cannot have this very blunt force nature dialogue. And so he talked about when he mentioned this Harvard professor who was arrested in his home during his presidency. And Obama had a throwaway line where he was like, yeah, the police was tripping that day. How you gonna arrest this man in his own home, 60-year-old with a bum leg? Right. And Obama said the media went crazy. What is Obama saying about the police? What is he saying? Right? And that's because he touched white fragility. He touched white privilege. Like when you touch those things in this country, that's when we get the biggest drawback. That's when we get the biggest pushback from these motherfuckers, is when you touch that. Like, for instance, like there are white people who really be caping for the cops, bro. Yeah. Like a cop saved a life or something. Or like they be like, my brother's a police officer. I'm like, bro, look, if your brother being a police officer is allowed to inform how you feel about all police, how come this one that just shot a brother on camera can't inform how I feel about these motherfuckers? Just one cop is your brother. Nigga, that's it. Like but your brother being that one police officer is allowed to shape how you want. My brother's selfless, and he's like, motherfucker, that's your brother. He might be doing the job well, but these other motherfuckers is fucking up. So to that point, it's like Obama understood that. And that's what I really wanted to get from his interview. I wanted to get this from the book as well, whereas I just really wanted Obama to be like, look, I could have kept it 100, but y'all did not want to see when keeping it real goes wrong.
All right.
That's pretty much what he said. Obama was like, y'all didn't want to be in this country with me in the White House talking like Trump to y'all. Because think about it, the way Trump talked about his white base, like they're underserved, they're taking everything from. He could really get behind black people by being exactly. He could really truly paint himself as a revolutionary, but he understood. First of all, I'm not getting to the presidency that way, and if I do a hard switch once I get in that motherfucker,
it's not going to end well,
bro. It would have been. I just think people don't conceptualize how much white people, how racist they are, and don't know it.
How fragile they are.
They are. White fragility is an attack on all whiteness. Yet white people have separated themselves from the racist to the whites. You know.
Yeah.
There's levels to this shit, man.
Yeah. But it's also kind of like, it's like, say you cheat on your girl, right? One time. Y'all been dating for 10 years. You cheated one time.
Who told you that?
Right? It's cheaper than 100. Aren't you gonna feel better than the nigga that cheated 5 times?
Oh, do I feel better than Future?
You feel like a better person, right? Even though you both cheated, right? But this nigga got caught 5 times cheating. I got caught one time. Notice I said caught. I got caught one time. Right. Even though we both are cheaters. And so I think this is how white people kind of view racism. It's like, I don't want my daughter to marry a black man, but I'm willing to work for one. And so it's a tiered system in their mind as well. And because they get so pent up, and because, you know, it's by design, they're not supposed to talk about the thing that they're not supposed to talk about a thing that shaped their identity as a collective. You can't really have serious dialogue about this bullshit that shaped your identity.
And the country we live in.
Yeah, it's like if somebody just walked up one day and told y'all oxygen ain't real. Like, what the fuck am I breathing then?
Like, you explain it to me, please. Please. Exactly.
So, you know, and so I think that's what I wanted from the interview, and that's what I wanted from the book when I get it. I just wanted to be like he just kept it real with y'all. He's like, look, man, like Lou said, 8 years, 200, nigga, that shit ain't about to happen, bro. And if I make it seem like I'm trying to get it done in 8 years, fix the 200, they killing all of us. And it ain't gonna be no ovens. It's gonna be the subtle shit they always do. They police force is gonna get more militarized.
Yeah.
They're gonna sanction it, and they're gonna create more gentrification. They're gonna push us out in the marginalized community. It's like we see their playbook all the time throughout the generations. Is what they do. They
They
was just gonna
literally
ramp
meant
that
it when
shit.
they said kill him with kindness. Like, we just because
Facts.
we are not like overtly, violent towards you doesn't mean we don't have other ways.
Well, it was overt these last 4 years.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's like I just saw this article today. This lady in was it Georgia? This white woman was charged and arrested because she was threatening two 12-year-old black kids with a handgun. They was out the back riding their bike and she pulled up with the glizzy on them. And one of them said his friend ran and he said he stayed there and just begged her not to shoot him. He's a kid. She's not 12 though.
You see that, like, and this, and then you go back, and then somebody's gonna cave for this white woman, like, oh well, she's obviously
Of
mentally
course.
unstable. It's like, no, like, that was a choice.
Mhm.
She made that choice. There's no mentally unstable thing about it. When
Yeah.
you look at a child playing outside on their bicycle, and then you pull a gun out.
They were black. Walt.
They will find a way, bro.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Have y'all read his other books though?
Obama's?
Yes.
The one with the father.
Yeah, I got the
something.
Daddy. I hope.
Okay.
Nah, I never read his other book. I didn't want to read any other ones. I just wanted the one, nigga. Give me this. What the fuck? I wanted honestly.
T.
I wanted exactly, nigga. I wanted him to be in the book. Like then Mitch McConnell called me a nigga, and I almost swung on that motherfucker. But Joe was like, "Yo, son, you can't do it, Barry." And well, Biden was like, "Yo, don't do it, Barry." It was just like, yeah, I just wanted the real.
There was a tension in the room.
And so that's another thing I took from it. The last vanguards of white supremacy are the Electoral College and the Senate.
Yeah.
Like Obama pretty much made it up with this. I knew about the filibuster already. I'm glad he highlighted it, but he's like, look, man, when niggas say Obama didn't do shit, I was like, you understand, he's the most filibuster president in United States history by like 20 times. Everybody else's count. So, and it's like the super majority. First of all, I was like, that's not even the Constitution. That's just some shit they cooked up.
Right.
Meaning you need, instead of just getting 51, you need 60%.
Yeah.
You need 60 of the congressmen instead of just having to need 51. And I'm like, okay, so is it a coincidence that 60% happens to match the population of white people in this country? Like that 60% of people in this country are white. I don't know, man, because it's like it just fucks me up because Obama said, look, that's one of the main pushbacks we got during civil rights was through the filibuster. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and so he basically said that 2 senators per state. He said Wyoming has like X amount of people, California has this many people, but they each get 2 senators.
Yeah.
Right. And then he's like, basically, but we need a 60% margin. So he said that those 41 seats have the potential to control the lives of literally those 60 states they represent. And I'm like, so it's like literally like those tools are set in place and utilized. Like Mitch McConnell's is an old nigga Kentucky, like if we don't have a filibuster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as he should be.
That's the extent of his power. He's an old redneck that white people like in Kentucky. That's the extent of his power if there's no filibuster.
Yo, just think about how like hard it would be to get shit done. First of all, I'm glad Charlemagne brought up, or at some point in the interview, Obama's stance on like, gay liberation and gay rights and gay marriage came up because I remember specifically, I was like 15 when he first became president, but his stance openly was, and I didn't even believe this shit was true, but that he was, one man, one woman thing on the marriage. But I'm just looking at this dude, I'm like, I just don't believe you, son. Like, you just look like too laid back, too chill of a dude. You give a fuck about 2 niggas wanting to get married. So just imagine, to go back to that whole, like, number of senators for Wyoming to California. Like, I really feel like us living in the major cities or, like, or whatever, really forget that most of this country is really just bunch of bumfuck, like white trash, like rural area. And we living in the cities we are actually the ones who are
pushing the country forward.
the minority, pushing the country forward, and actually the minority as far as,
metropolitan areas.
Yeah. So just imagine how hard it would be to get some shit done if a old ass turtle named Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, which I can't even point out on a map right now off the top of my head, comes out and says, "Yo, everything this motherfucker do, we blocking it. Everything you do, we blocking it, son." And you expect that nigga to just
did they touch on the Supreme Court justices?
No, they didn't touch on them. But that's another, like, once again, another, like, come on, son. These niggas, they rushed this last chick in there. They got that shit done in a month.
But when Neil Gorsuch was trying to get in, they were like, "Oh no, it's not. It's too close."
You mean Merrick Garland?
Like, Merrick Garland. There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you, and like so that's that. That is a thing, man. So right now, people talking about taxes, right? Because Biden's supposed to raise tax. I'm like, bro, listen, Republicans just they just all went into recess, right? Congress did, and the shit that fucks with me in my head is this, nigga. They just passed a whole stimulus package this year, gave the majority of the money to the rich ass motherfucking donors, and you're mad because your taxes might go up. Nigga, what? What is your... I don't mind. I can understand you being upset about the taxes, but I don't like Republicans being mad about shit that Republicans themselves don't even be fixing for these niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're mad at, like, they be like, drain the swamp, and Trump makes it bigger. It's like y'all be one shit.
Right.
And they be selling you this shit. Yeah, and he's like, yo, less taxes, we pay more tax. I'm like, nigga, we just paid these motherfuckers through our taxes, bro. We just cut these niggas a fat ass check on top of the tax cut Trump passed in 2017.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, dog? If you look at it this way, look at it like, don't look at it as what's taken. Like, they already took the money, nigga. We're getting it back. Niggas are dumb, bro.
Right.
That's what Obama really was saying. He was like, yo, these niggas is dumb. Country is dumb. That's what he really was saying. Niggas ain't smart enough.
Don't know how taxes work. That's
no one knows how anything works, bro.
Man. Yeah. But
you know how things affect you.
Taxes are concerned. Yes.
You don't know how they work.
It's too individualistic.
Yeah. You see taxes in your check, but you don't know how they work.
Exactly. Like, no, take out that little bit for Social Security and for Medicare and for Medicaid, please, because Lord forbid, knock on wood, if anything were to happen to me and I need those services, I know what's being paid into it.
Yeah.
That's cool and all, but take it out of your check, but also take it out of George Bezos' check, because they ain't taking shit out that
like, whatever it's taken out of mine, it needs to be like 10,000% of his.
Well, you see, this is the thing about it, like,
or at least proportional.
I saw this tweet exchange between Nikki Haley and AOC. So AOC is like, yo, man, we I forgot what she said. Let me pull this up because it's a good point. So, hold on. Let me see. Okay, so here it is. So AOC tweeted, to get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home. Facts. That's the simplest, most basic way. Nikki Haley, AOC, are you suggesting you want to pay people to stay home from the money you take by defunding the police? ? Or was that for the student debts you wanted to pay off? The Green Deal, the Green New Deal, or Medicare for all? Where is the money? # where's the money, right? AOC was like, Nikki, I'm suggesting Republicans find the spine to stand up for their corporate donors and vote for the same measures they did in March, except without the Wall Street bailout this time. And I know you're confused about actual governance, but police budgets are municipal, not federal. Facts. Okay, so this is the thing, right? This is state. That's a state thing, but this is what the right gets to do. They get to play to the 5th grade reading level,
right? And it's like,
and this is why I would have said to. And this is what I would have said to Mitch. Mitch, Matter of fact, all you Republicans, all you Trumpers, y'all, like, where's the money coming from? Y'all are broke. We showed you the GDP margins for the electorate. I showed you that couple podcasts ago. We like it literally accounts for 7% of America's GDP, and you only got 31% in your counties, in your rural communities. So when this notion that where they can be like, where are we going to get the taxes? Where are we going to get the money from to pay for all these things? I'm like, nigga, why are broke niggas always worried about where the money coming from, bro? Y'all not even really the ones getting hit like that. We're like middle to upper middle.
Yeah.
So we're not poor. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely not. No.
And this is my thing. And Mitch McConnell, your whole state, by comparison to the median average income of our state, is broke as fuck.
Right.
So what I don't understand is why, like, I just like, and this is what I'm saying, man. Like, you and Obama talked about this as well. He said politics is also stories. So he said you got Fox News and Rush Limbaugh gassing these motherfuckers with these stories all the time. Obama's taking the guns. Obama's taking this and all that. Just taking shit and just poking it with fear. So now I just realized, man, it's like all you have is your whiteness, and you got these networks that reinforce your prejudice and your biases and your phobias with no merit to stand on whatsoever, right? And then it's just like, and for instance, like if you look at it this way, like besides the church, I don't think Black people really have a place to go to reinforce ignorance. Besides hip hop,
and even then, like there are
even then it's
monitors,
and even then it's what do you listen to?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So for instance, like I think Fox News has the same effect on broke white people that trap music does for young broke Black people.
In what sense?
Okay,
it just lets them live. It just lets them live in this delusional state.
It's the same type of energy.
It is, man. It's like it's the Fox News is selling you, if we stop them from hating on Christmas, you'll all be rich one day. That is the illusionary tactic of it. And Hove is selling you, hey man, if you get bitches, you'll be rich one day. No, it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of think of like I'm just looking at America propaganda, and I'm like, I think ours is definitely rap music and the church to a degree, depending on which branches you go to.
It's like niggas saying, my teachers never supported me. It's like, no, your teachers did.
Your
mother loved you. Your mother loved you.
You had two parents, Clarence.
Right? It's the same thing.
It's a myth.
It's like, and it'd be like
gone to a terrible school. It's like, but not everything was terrible. It was a bad situation, yes, but not everything about your life was terrible. And it's the same thing Fox News is saying. It's like, happy holidays, how dare they? Because Jesus, it's like,
bro, they were convincing white people the country was falling apart while Obama was reinforcing and saving the economy.
Yet now
and jobs were exploding,
legitimately falling apart. And he's like, no, we're still good.
But it's not Trump's fault.
Yeah, it's more like the country's still falling apart, but it's because of these Mexicans that work for like a fraction of what you make, and that are hired by the same people that've been shitting on you and lowering your wages all these years. So but get mad at the brown people though.
It's not the Mexicans no more, Lou. It's that China virus.
Oh my bad, it's China now.
Them goddamn China.
Hey, dirty pig, man. Like he knew what he was doing, man.
That's it, man.
That's what I always wondered. I'm like, how do you who hires these Mexicans? Who hires the other?
They just showed
up. If they're
not
hiring you, who hires the other?
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what always pissed me off about it, right? Like that's what I would say. Like, bro, when people say, yo, the tax, I'm like, bro, like if you're telling me somebody's doing something to get over on me, your solution can't be, hey, yo, and by the way, let's rock with the people who also stab us in the back. Like, nigga, that's a Candace Owens shit. I'm like, no, bro. Democrats are not perfect by a long shot. But you ain't about to convince me Republicans give a fuck about what's going on with Black folks. Like, they literally are trying to stop us from voting in states these niggas don't even live in. I'm like, bro, make it make sense.
Stop the voting. Georgia and Pennsylvania.
And then when you bring up Candace gets to hit you with the whataboutism, just be like, well, Democrats have never done shit because they really haven't done shit. We acting like, but they have. It's like they just haven't. They haven't done the most. They've done stuff. Yeah. They just haven't done the most, and it's cool. I'm like, look, man.
You know what? Black people definitely hate people that do the most.
And then on top of that, like, I always see and I don't know why. I swear some niggas just love to be contrarians, but they will say that same argument like, oh, the most poorest cities or whatever, blah 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 blah, with niggas are run by Democrats. But I'm like, okay, but what's the other side offering me? If you telling me Democrats ain't shit, but you also ain't offering me shit.
Exactly, because then I look at black people in Republican-led municipalities, and they broke it in the Democrats.
Everybody broke.
And they not only broke, but they in the dirt in a trailer park.
When was the last time you heard anybody say, "I'm planning a nice trip to Alabama"?
Never.
Kentucky.
I'm planning a nice trip to Tennessee.
Said no nigga ever.
The time I ever heard niggas going to Kentucky was the protest for Breonna Taylor. Yeah.
Right. I'm planning a nice trip to fucking Utah.
Yeah. Nah.
The only nigga from Kentucky I could even think of is Bryson Tiller.
And Kanye tried to make Wyoming hot, niggas. No.
Nah, son.
Right.
Wyoming, niggas.
Only reason why you would move to Wyoming is because DMV out there is wild. Like, you register your car, you can register like damn near any car for like $25.
Yeah, like, look, man, we get it. Like, it's real cheap to live in these states because they broke.
Yeah, they ain't got shit.
Cost of living.
They really don't got nothing, man. They're like those these senators kind of remind me of those feudal lords who just wouldn't take care of their villages.
Ooh, that's a nice way of putting it.
What I just look, I think it's like an oligarchical system, and sometimes it's a monarchy. Because Obama even said that, like, they treat the presidency like a monarchy, and I'm like, in a way they do, and it's kind of like Mitch is just this feudal lord who's, his domain is Kentucky, and he just don't take care of these niggas, but they keep him in power because he's always making them afraid of invaders. Like, it's like I'm the lord here, and I protect you.
Bunch of serfs.
Yeah. But it's like, he's like, he doesn't provide you any means to provide for your family. He leaves you destitute and poor. It's like Kim Jong-un. Not really feeding these motherfuckers, but they worshiping this nigga. And I'm like, bro, if I'm worshiping you, dog, I at least gotta be full every day, nigga.
I gotta have 3 meals at least.
I'm not calling you the
supreme. Cop, my guy.
I'm not calling you a supreme leader. And my grandma ain't got no food, nigga. Like, that don't make no sense, bro. Make it make sense, dog. Like, think about Jesus from the Bible, yeah. This motherfucker was feeding niggas like crazy. Like, nobody was listening to this nigga if they was hungry. He had to drop the bread and fish off so they would listen, nigga. He's like, treat others as you wish to be treated. Exactly. He was like, look, treat others as you wish to be. All you heard was stomach grumbling, nigga. You went and cooked up the fish, threw this shit to the crowd. Niggas was sitting there like, what this nigga talking about right now?
The water and the wine.
Exactly. Niggas had fish bones, clean their teeth. Was like, yo, man, we need to treat each other good, yeah? Especially this motherfucker got the fish on lock. We good. Like, he understood.
James sitting there and be like, hey, yo, Luke, come in. My nigga Jesus.
And that's why I realized, man, you know how hard it is to have compassion when you're broke? And you don't got no prospects for the future? Thanks. That's why those rich ass well-to-do white kids are always the ones going on missions across overseas to save some village.
Fucking free.
Because they just
white
good.
So free.
Yeah.
But you know what though? All right. Not to cut you out. I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead.
Hey, I mean, they said America was great, but Joe said America back.
Yeah, Joe tripping.
Back to what?
I get it. Joe means the America that he's known prior to 2016, meaning
yes.
Like, he means the America meaning like, the president is gonna, do regular White House press meetings. Yeah, he's gonna really answer questions and
he's gonna do his job.
Be concerned about the well-being of the American public. You know what I'm saying? So what really Joe should have said is the presidency is back, not America. I don't know what the fuck that means.
But I mean, he had everybody in his cabinet saying it. So America back.
We back, baby.
Hey,
We was here for 4 years,
honestly,
nigga. That's what John
I mean,
Oliver said.
honestly,
He
that
said we have to come to grips with who we are. Put the first black man in
see,
office,
but
a white supremacist. Then we got the first female vice president, and she
I
black too.
mean,
That's all America.
asking white people to accept
Mhm.
who they are at is asking them to acknowledge that they don't have a culture in America.
Oh, they got a culture
They
No, no,
do.
no. Well, no, because
of
white
racism.
culture. I mean, yes,
You know, it's kind of
so
funny.
racism.
Whiteness washed away their heritage like slavery did ours.
Exactly. And that's what I'm referring to because racism has existed in all facets. You know, like you
Mhm.
go, I mean, the Asians are racist against each other. You know, like there are Africans that are
Tribalism.
racist against each other.
Yeah,
Exactly. That tribalism, that's there. You
yeah.
know, but we like you have Italians. It's like yeah, you know, you go to certain cities. You know, we know they rep there, but who are you in South Dakota?
Yeah.
What is
A,
your heritage?
a dirty. I forget what that Italian slur word is.
Oh God,
Dang.
there are so many.
Well,
Just
It's
just
not a
it's
pick a word.
mick. A wop. That's
a
what it
guinea
is.
A
wop.
wow.
A
Guinea wop.
wop.
It's a guinea
A
wop.
dirty wop.
No, no
Yeah.
offense, it's a guinea wop. But now like
Guinea
I
wop.
get to that point, man. I don't know. Yeah, they don't have any, and it's like it's funny because they need an ancestry test just as much as we do.
Absolutely, you know,
Because
because they talk about oh well, like we're Americans and we're so great. It's like no, like you've lost yourself within your hubris.
yeah, the
Yeah,
whiteness.
exactly. You
No,
know, it's
I'm with you 100%. And that's why I used to always say to people, man, like I'm gonna have to. I was a black person. I got to talk about white people as a collective. That's just how. Like I don't care how many friends I got that are white. Like that's I'm not talking about y'all. Exclude yourselves. And I think white people need to stop calling themselves white. They need to start calling themselves I'm
absolute.
German. I'm this,
Yes,
I'm that. So that way we'll
yes.
know if you still refer to yourself as white, we know what team you really on.
Exactly. And not like the whole I'm 5% German and I'm 7% Swedish and then I'm
Yeah.
16%
But you
Italian.
see, it's also it's also you
Right.
have to acknowledge, but you can't. This is the thing about it. Cause I know how white people, you give them an inch, they take a mile. So if you tell them to stop calling themselves white, that means they're gonna be like, okay, so I don't have white privilege anymore. No, nothing. That's not what we're saying.
No,
Acknowledge
no.
the shit that you was already in, that you're already cooking with, and then understand the benefits of starting to assess your heritage and your culture so you can flesh those things out. And that's it's kind of like a I don't know, man. I think it's just too late, man. Because everything was built on such a bullshit lie. Like you said, we've had tribalism, but nigga, that was because nigga, you stole my land. Like you stole this
Right.
one river and you shitting on this side of it, and we living on this
Now
side of
we
it. So
we
we gotta
drinking the
fight.
piss. Like we can't be doing
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
That was what fights was for. Like that's tribalism originated from that. And the motherfuckers be like, how come you don't like that tribe? How come we like the tribe? Nigga, I don't know. I was just born into this shit. Um, all I know is I be over there fucking bitches sometimes, and niggas don't really care. I just look at it like blood and crip neighborhood. You know, niggas went in the blood neighborhood to smash some joint.
I mean,
Probably how most niggas got
why
killed. They
why?
ventured into enemy territory to get some cheeks.
Yeah, you know that's why they were just like, hey, who's around?
Yeah,
Who outside?
exactly, man. And then it's like, and that's what I kind of want, man. I don't know. It's like Obama was saying, you know, grandchildren, grandkids. I think that's just us, man. He said the presidency is a relay race. I'm like, nigga, being black is a relay race. Aside from you had 8 years and then you got passed the baton off, we got a lifespan. And then we got passed the baton off.
Mm.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
think, and we just need more. We need more on the baton than uh Gucci belts and you know we need more on the baton than materialism and like we need substantive stuff on the baton. We pass it off to our grandkids. Ownership, entrepreneurship, you know, civics,
Ideals and
engagement.
values
Exactly,
is
man. You need tons of it and stop yelling at whatever you see on social media or TV because like it's influencing your kids. But if you were doing a real job of instilling values in them,
they would
those
know that that's not what to take in, or at least like they
exactly,
know that it's like Skittles.
it's entertainment.
You that's it. You get a little bit, and then that's cool, you know. But you get a little bit every so often. That's not
Yeah,
what you feed yourself with.
nah, not at all, man. And it's like, and also another thing Obama was bringing up, he's like, look, man, it's gonna take time, man. We gotta get the consciousness higher. We gotta be vibrating at a higher frequency. Like we have to stop being such a reactionary people all the time. Um,
And just also like I don't know, man. I just feel like people really don't understand how hard it is for things to change sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like change
because they
is
don't know
hard.
how shit works.
No.
Yeah, like I just think about like myself, like some things that like just me personally, like how hard it's taken me or how long it's taken me to come to conclusions that, maybe like my parents or like one of y'all has tried to convince me of for like months or years. And it just doesn't hit me until it hits me. Like, until I'm like at a point where my life is no longer comfortable and I'm like, oh shit, I do need to make this change. Like sometimes people really need to get hit with something hard, like, I don't know, a 4-year Trump presidency to
Yeah.
realize
A pandemic,
a pandemic.
losing your favorite basketball player, your favorite movie star, and your favorite rapper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shit gotta really hit home for people before it like clicks. You
Like
know what I'm
literally,
saying?
guy like literally took out 3 stars in our most prolific spaces.
Yeah.
Meaning like black
He said
people
you
rap,
balling too hard too.
we play basketball, and we're in
Yeah.
movies. And people are like, how come we always look at entertainers? I was like, all America got is entertainers, nigga. Entertainers and Mark Zuckerberg, nigga, and Jeff Bezos. That's all we got. We got Elon
Right.
Musk,
Enter-
Mark Zuckerberg.
Entertainers and entrepreneurs.
Exactly. Entertainers, entrepreneurs. That's all we got, nigga. And most
Oh,
of our entrepreneurs is entertainers.
facts.
Or at least
Speaking
give
of
you a better way to entertain.
Mr. Musk, second richest man in the world now.
Yeah, good for that nigga. Anyway, next subject.
He had to come up during the pandemic. We ain't talking about that yet. How much wealth moved back to the 1% during the pandemic? They got it all back.
But
Like for him to be the second richest, because I know he was on the list, but he wasn't even top 5 if I'm not mistaken.
They got all of it back, bro. The gap that Obama
I'm
helped
pretty
close
sure.
during his presidency, they got it all back.
Well,
Pretty sure Bill
hey,
Gates ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
look, Bill Gates said he's trying to end malaria, so right. He said that shit like 12 years ago. So I'm like, all right, if that's what you want, then
No, that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like about Bill. I know Bill don't give a fuck about people. Like it's not. I'm not like. Remember we talked about earlier. Sometimes your cynicism doesn't allow you to see people who they're. I know you don't give a fuck about people, Bill. And so when you talk about like humanitarian efforts as if it's selfless, I'm like, nigga, shut up. Like I don't even believe this shit coming out your mouth, bro. Like even if you are being genuine, I don't believe you, nigga. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I believe him, honestly.
I don't really believe him that much. I'm just like, I just don't get why people always look into like
Bro, Bill wasn't out here till this
Africa.
happened.
Like this shit going on right here. Like I'm from Africa, and if I
Right.
get money like Bill, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm hooking up my niggas here in Virginia. On
Oh
the
no,
East
well
Coast.
see, but that's the thing though. Bill from an early age stopped thinking about America. Like he was the first wave of globalization. You know,
Yeah.
like he was the first. For a long time, it was just his shit. It was just Windows.
And that's what I'm saying.
He
That's
really,
why I
Right.
he
know,
really
like,
was though.
So like when he's like going to tackle something else again, he's not even worried about him. He's like, America will handle itself. That's fine. What can I do to help the world?
I'm not saying that he isn't genuine. I'm just saying I don't believe that nigga.
Right.
And I can't get
Yeah.
past that. Like he
These are
could be
two
100.
things.
Like he just was doing some hobby shit. He really fuck with viruses. This has always been his thing. Like I don't know about this nigga's whole life. Like I don't know what books he loved in school. I got a
Been a
biology book back
viral
there on the
expert
shelf back
since he
there. I
was
read
7.
4 pages of that motherfucker during class. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but if I'm rich as fuck one day, I might pick that joint up and want to be a biologist. I don't know, nigga.
Absolutely.
So I don't know about Bill, but this is my problem with Bill. Bill, have somebody else talk for you, bro, because we don't believe you, bro. And this is the point. This is the point. We don't believe
Bill
you,
need a
Bill.
spokesperson.
No. Think about it. Bill ain't been out here with us, bro.
No, he hasn't. He doesn't know how much eggs cost.
You know what, Bill? We would have believed Bill if he had Instagram like Will Smith does.
Yeah, I can see that.
And not in
And that's a
2020.
shame.
But if he literally had it popping for like the last couple years, he was out here making funny videos. but we would know Bill a little bit. We would know why Bill is over there. Like I never seen a documentary on this nigga. I haven't seen. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying like he's not that figure for me. It's not like
Right.
I know of Oprah's philanthropy. I know Bill does
Right.
philanthropic work too, but his has always been more like, oh yeah, Microsoft just gave 20 laptops to this one school, and it just be off. It just be in the cut. Like
Yeah.
it's not being celebrated. It's not being talked
It
about.
always seems like it's Illuminati-esque.
Not even that. It's just
Disingenuous.
It's not. It's disingenuous. It's cold and callous. And like you say, he's the first wave of globalization. So, bro, you at some point were a cutthroat businessman. If you tell me like, look, yo, man, I'm about to get paid off this vaccine. Then I'm like, okay, that shit worked then. If he just said that, because then I was a white man about to get money. I know he about to do some good shit or some bad shit, right? So basically, like, so he's like, so it's like I don't trust your when you try to sell me the I care about people shit. That's why, I knew this was going to be a problem for the world, and I just don't want the world to suffer from these things anymore. I'm like, no, nigga, tell me that you own the malaria vaccine company. Tell me about all the money you about to make. Let me see the bottom line on why you so invested in the world's health issues, bro. Because just being like there to save people's lives, I don't believe you, Bill. Even if you are genuine, you don't have a believable personality, bro. You a shady, goofy motherfucker with glasses, dog.
It's like if
yo. That's
you know
funny.
who Bill looked like? Bill looked like the scientist, the rich villain always got working for him on some fucked up shit.
Right.
I can
He
see
worked for
that.
Doofenshmirtz.
Exactly, bro. Like he's the motherfucker that they hire. You know what I'm saying? Bill's the motherfucker that the rich guy comes down to the basement. When will the drug be ready for warfare? He's like, well, we've been doing,
sir.
We've been doing our trials, and it turns out that we need for
Hey,
that's
Dexter.
Bill, nigga. Remember Wonder Woman, the motherfucker.
Wait.
Remember Wonder Woman, the bitch with the scars and shit.
Oh,
yeah.
And then that's Bill. Bill is her. Bill is the remember this the scientist who was developing that's Bill.
Rick Moranis. That's it. That's what we see.
No. I would trust Rick Moranis.
Really?
He was there, bro. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Even if that's
yeah.
I'm just explaining how our minds work on this shit. Because I was talking about this with my coworker. I'm like, bro, it's not the fact that this vaccine is a vaccine. They're always dangerous, especially one that has this trial period. It's not all vaccines work. Once again, Americans are new to this shit though, because once, like Lou just said, it's affected me now. So now I gotta know what vaccines do. Right? I got them injected in my whole fucking life. Never gave half a fuck about them. But all of a sudden, I need to know now because, So
about to be mandatory.
Exactly. So to me, I'm just like, look, Bill, you're doing like hire Cardi or something. You just need to hire somebody we fuck with to explain this shit to us, bro. And not even to explain how vaccines work. Just explain why you're the guy that's talking about them. That's the number one question honestly, people be asking. Why is this nigga fucking with?
If you got like Robert Downey Jr. to talk about that shit, like I feel enough people would listen.
Here's something interesting that I actually learned from watching an episode of what's that Hassan Minaj show, Patriot Act.
Oh yeah,
there's an episode there for real. There's an episode about how like billionaires will not save us, and he talks about how Bill Gates kind of has this. I believe it's like John D. Rockefeller gospel of wealth mentality, to where he believes that like the richest, most successful people should be left solely alone to take care of the world's problems.
It's a little shit.
But the problem with that is that like a motherfucker like Bill Gates thinks that he's one of the best people to take care of this malaria situation. I can't trust a motherfucker that thinks he alone. I'm sure he's got people working around him, but for you to be like, yo, me, Bill Gates, billionaire, computer guy, smart guy, but smart in computers, you think you about to fix malaria in a whole nother
figured it out. I know why he's doing it.
I don't trust it.
Because he's never gonna be Steve.
Yeah, at
least Bill Burr has a bit
Steve
where he talked about Steve Jobs being pretentious. Because Steve would have all these scientists working on all this shit that he would come out there by himself with the black tee on and some jeans, making it look like it was no big deal. And he would present it as if he cooked it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
he's good at communicating.
that's what Bill is doing right now. Instead of opening the window to the scientists in the orchestra that's going on behind you, or that you've had in place for malaria vaccine, whatever you've done, you out here as the face of it. And we looking at you like, bro, like, no.
You make computers, dog. You do
you make
software.
computers, but I get it. He's clout chasing. When you out here, bro, when CNN and ABC want to talk to you now, you clout chasing because they never wanted to talk to you before. They used to call Steve when they wanted to interview with somebody they fuck with. They never called you, Bill. And you know you was second fiddle. I remember that from young age. I remember like, yo, Steve, like Bill got Microsoft, but everybody was like, Microsoft was like the throwaway computer. You wanted an Apple joint, nigga, because it was like
it was flipped for a long time. People ain't want an Apple for shit.
No, they wanted an Apple.
And nobody wanted an Apple until they did iPod. Once they did iPod, that's when they
really started. It was fucking with that 85 Macintosh.
What was the Mac 2s? It was the big colorful joints.
The Macintosh, the iMacs.
Yeah,
the Macintosh. We had a Macintosh, but not.
It was called a Mac 2. But like,
you know what's funny?
Like,
I think the thing is the difference between those two people specifically is that like Steve is working with like all these, and I know a little bit because I've read biographies on both of them actually. Not to sound like an asshole, but like with Steve is like you
read a book,
he's
nigga.
Working with.
What are you talking about?
Just like,
no, I'm that's it.
Learning.
You just said you ain't know. I'm telling you, like the difference between them two is that like Steve is like he will say, yo, I'm working with the best people. This person, I'm working with Joe Morris on this, I'm working with Walt on that. But then he's good at like communicating the idea.
Yeah.
He's the face of it because he's good at communicating. Bill is like he doing everything himself, but he's not a very good like communicator.
Horrible. He'd be fumbling through words and shit. I'd be like, bro, you just look sketchy, dog. Stop.
You sound like Kermit the Frog trying to teach you about like.
And it's funny. Is it me or is this nigga like every time I see an interview with this nigga on ABC or some shit, it look like the same background from the last interview he did? I'd be like, bro, did they just interview this nigga one time this year and cut it up?
That's it.
Every time I see a segment from him, I'm like, it's the same interview.
Bill
like,
said,
April,
look,
nigga?
I'm doing all my interviews today. That's it.
Because y'all ain't gonna ask me again.
That's it. Look, June 22nd, that's the only day you get in.
Yeah. And that's what it is. You know what's so funny about that, man? It's like Bill's like, yeah, I'm doing all my interviews today, but it's kind of like, bro, like you don't even. He's so rich and just pretentious with his shit. I don't even think he cares to explain it or to dumb it down for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of his downfall and why this shit has so much skepticism behind it. Because it's like Walt said, like whatever you might not believe in Illuminati, but remember earlier this year I told you that white woman finally started believing in that shit when she was outside of the anti-mask protest. They asked her about it. I just started learning about the Illuminati and stuff. White folks went out a conspiracy hole this year like they never did before.
12 years late, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. The lady, like, if she only looking up Illuminati now, it's like we've been off of that.
No. It's not that you look up. It's not that you know about it now. It's that you become susceptible to believe it now because of the pandemic. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Black folks, we always could believe in that shit because we always been black in America. So if you tell me somebody behind the scenes puppet stringing this shit, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense there.
It's called Master.
Exactly. The Wizard of Oz was just low key metaphor for white supremacy, man.
That's a nice little segue into our Grammy conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
how is the milk
we know
made?
that man, there's a lot of bullshit with the Grammys, man. Like,
Abel wants some answers.
Oh yes.
All right. Did y'all watch that Sean C?
Yeah, I watched
clip. I think he made a good point in there about how like, so the Grammys wanted him to perform, but then the Super Bowl wanted him to perform, but then the Grammys was like, you can't do both. So clearly he picked the Super Bowl. And Sean had like a theory that like because he picked one over the other, like people in the Grammys are like kind of pissed off at him. Someone high up in the Grammys is
Why
like
can't he
pissed
do
off
both
at him
again?
but
because
also we're just
they wanted, and this is one of Sean's theories, which made sense to me, was that like they wanted a level of exclusivity because apparently the two events are like a week apart. So they're like, we
oh
have a
yeah,
star
yeah,
as
early
big as
February.
for people to like to draw people in to watch the Grammys. They want it to be exclusive. Like you're only going to see The Weeknd perform at the Grammys. You're not going to be able to see him a week
Uh,
later perform at the Super
The Super
Bowl, and then
Bowl.
last week he's at the Grammys. But
Mm.
he was like, I'm gonna pick the Super Bowl, and then somebody in the upper level, upper echelon at the Grammys was like, "Oh, well, you ain't getting no nominations then." These are all just
But
theories, but it
I
kind of
yeah.
makes
mean, yeah, because I was gonna say like, don't they do their voting like at least a couple weeks in at least a month in advance?
yeah. But you
Like,
could easily change that shit.
yeah, but to like,
They just announced it like the
Well,
other
we're talking
day.
about
I'm
when
sure
things
they
get
talked
announced versus
about
when
it
they actually have these
before that.
conversations.
right, yeah,
So
true.
he could have knew he was doing the Super Bowl like months ago, and it just got announced
Yeah,
2 weeks ago. Like, you know what I'm
true.
saying? It's like, it's very interesting though, because none of that has to do with the music though.
Yeah,
Not at all.
it's
It's
all
just
So
politics.
politics.
It's all
exactly, and
politics
I
because there's
think
no reason
that's,
why he shouldn't be nominated.
I think, you know, the Grammys are a perfect example of. I really want us to just collectively say fuck them,
Yeah,
like not kind of, sort of, but just genuinely fuck them.
yeah.
Meaning that if you're an artist and you get nominated for one, because you don't be like I saw this MC I follow Chikala on
Oh, Chica.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Chica, yeah. And she said, I got, oh my God, I'm Grammy nominated. I'm like, would you do the same thing if you got a BET nomination? Like you run
no,
into us with that. She might because she's new. Any nominations we're celebrating for her, I think.
right.
But I'm kind of also like, if the BET show you mad love this year, Abel, is you gonna be like, yo, BET looked out
It
though?
is.
Or is it the Grammys and it's this? And that's what I'm saying. I want us to, we can't feed into the white privilege and also want to dismantle it.
Mhm.
And that's why I feel like in the Grammys, like you can't take away the power they have if every year you give it back to them by being responsive to what they don't or do not or do or don't do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like, it's kind of like if you really just want to take the power back, then you genuinely have to say fuck them.
Yeah. Well, I
Not
mean,
fuck them for a year, but fuck them forever.
that's why Kanye did what he did. You know, he pissed on his Grammy like in the toilet. Like
Yeah.
he showed. He's like, look, at this point, like it is what it is. Drake, you know, he does what he
Yeah.
does. Like we see people that show what their feelings towards the Grammys are. You know, they could have had those feelings even before then. You know, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you're new, I guess
But that's a nigga that
sky's the
has
limit.
10 plus Grammys. Talking about Kanye, but The
Yeah.
Weeknd is not new. But that's another thing Sean talked about in his video, to where like, yeah, you know, some people could be like, you know, some established people could be like, "Yo, fuck the Grammys," but like for those newer people, let's just be honest. Like saying you're a Grammy nominated or you won a Grammy, it just
No, that
holds
does
more
things.
weight
That
than
does things.
saying I got a BET award, just because of how much longer like the type of recognition the Grammys have. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I
and I think
wanted,
it's the
I think,
it's the type of excellence that is associated with the Grammys as well. Because we always assume that the Grammys are the cream of the crop. Because I've gone back and listened to, you know, to some albums and what I'm like, oh no, this is legit a good project. Like, thank you for for nominating this person so that I can be exposed to them. Like, song of the year is "Colors" by Black Pumas. I love that song. Fantastic song. Damn near nobody's heard of it. But like when you hear this song, you're like, oh
that's
no,
what I
this is a
heard.
good
That's how I
song.
found out Gary Clark Jr.
Right. You know, so and then on
Yeah, this
top
he
of that, it
performed this
is
land at the Grammys.
it's it's everything that's recorded almost that they cover. You know,
No,
they go
100%.
from popular music to comedy albums, you know, and everything in between. So
What I think
But him
I'm
not
speaking
getting
to,
mm,
I just want. I'm not saying the Grammys will lose cachet. They're fucking Grammys,
yeah.
but I want them to lose cachet in our culture.
That's not gonna happen.
Like, remember when Drake was like, "I'm handing out Grammys on my Instagram."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. I genuinely want that to be the thing, man. Like, where it's like, what's worth more than a Grammy? Is if Hove tweet about you, is that worth more than a nomination?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Let's say Hove was like, "Yo, I'm listening to this hot MC Chica. She hot out here in these streets." Like, is that worth more than a Grammy to you, Chica?
Remember when he tweeted out like his 50
I don't know how she
top
feels about Hove
rappers,
though. Exactly.
right?
It was news. It circulated.
Right.
Now I'm just saying, like, for instance, I think we need
Yeah,
BT
actually, that's a very
Awards.
good point.
The BT Awards are just they have
They've been mired in too much controversy for it to to really change. Or like there has to be like a definitive change. The like going forward, like if 2021 BET Awards, it's like, all right, this is the mandatory dress requirements. These are the mandatory things that we are following. Like
I
it
don't even think
has
it
to
could be
be
the
like a
BT
black
Awards
tie
though.
event.
Because we know
So,
it's not black owned company anymore.
yeah.
That
Honestly,
affected how
But
we
not
felt
now.
about BET.
yeah, of course. Because it's like, wait, we're being fed shit that we think black people like,
I saw it,
and we
bro.
like
Like,
it.
it pissed me off so much when BET just started making the black version of everything that was on MTV.
Yeah,
That shit fucked with me mentally. I was like, oh my God, bro.
I'm glad they didn't have Scarred back then.
Like, it went from what? It was what? MTV had the Hills and we had Baldwin Hills or some dumb shit. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, who wants to watch a show about rich white black people? I was like, nigga, who wants to watch a show about rich white people? Like,
a lot
I
of
wasn't
people,
watching none of them. That's the funny
me
thing.
neither.
a lot of people watch Baldwin Hills. 'Cause
But
that
like,
has
No.
4 or 5 seasons.
but that's a
Too
good
many.
point though. Like, if you think about it, like the Grammys are well established, but just in terms of like, I would take that Jay-Z tweet over being Grammy nominated because not everybody wants Grammys, especially if you're like, let's say you a rapper, you an MC or whatever. But like Jay-Z is Jay-Z, been in the game 20 plus years at this point.
And
When
he's
people think of
still
Jay-Z,
top tier.
when people think of Jay-Z, they think gotta rap, very successful businessman, married to Beyonce. His word is like bond in a lot of genres because niggas just not just niggas listen to Jay-Z.
Right.
But like some people don't even watch the Grammys and be like, oh, who's nominated? I don't even care. So yeah, I would take that Jay-Z tweet over.
Bro, I never watched the
Honestly,
Grammy. That shit too long.
I think
I
they
don't know.
should
I catch the performances a lot.
they should make a new award, all right, called the Jones in honor of what do you call this? What's that nigga's name? Ah man, you work with Michael.
James Earl Jones.
Not James Earl Jones. Quincy Jones. All right.
Quincy Jones.
Because it
Now they like, called the Quincy.
Or called the Quincy. Cool. Even better. Thank you. All right.
I got a Q.
Yeah, see, I got
the Q Awards. There you go.
Right, the Q Awards. All right, because one is like, who do we know that is a more successful musician or executive or whatever within the industry than Quincy Jones?
Yeah.
So it's like you have it shaped around him. You maybe have L.A. Reid as, the fucking chairman or whatever like that. Like you get this top level executive board around it just to frame it. And then oh shit, it sounds like trickle down economics. Never mind.
But I know where you're going.
I hate the idea. Like, I saw the nominations, man. First of all, I don't listen to none of these niggas that got nominated like that. The Bigger Picture got nominated for best rap performance.
D-Smoke got nominated.
Who?
Smoke did. His album came out.
D-Smoke got nominated.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that shocked the fuck out of me. I'm like,
absolutely.
I listened to your album earlier. It wasn't incredible.
No,
it was a good project, but that's just connects.
Was he rapping in Spanish?
Nah, I see he's does some bilingual stuff sometimes. But my thing is, I just don't like D, bro. Like, no, there's just no way.
Wait, what category? Best rap album?
Best rap album.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is D-Smoke?
And Eve didn't even get nominated.
Oh, Eve did drop a project this year. Shit.
I ain't even know D-Smoke dropped something this year.
I'm talking about Eve, the Rhapsody project from last year.
Yeah.
A lot of these albums came out like late last year.
Yeah.
Like D came out, I think, mad early this year, but I'm just like, bro, no. Like, No.
No,
I like you. You're great. You're a good artist, but bro, this feels like I feel like D Smoke is the first packaged conscious rapper.
Yeah. I can see him being like a plant, but it's not. There's nothing wrong with being a
He
plant.
is.
But
He is. Like he was on the
let
show. It turns out this nigga's like what's his name's brother?
he's Sir's
Sir's
brother.
brother. Like, come on, son.
He's
No,
Sir's
bro.
older
He's on a
brother. Yeah.
Netflix thing, so it seems like he had an original origin. And now you
No,
got a
sir.
Grammy nomination out of nowhere, bro. And the Weeknd don't got nothing.
Right.
Pump your
Right.
brakes,
Right.
dog.
Right.
I know
And the
something's
thing
politics.
is,
going on.
it's not even like he's underground because Freddie, got nominated, and it's like, all
Oh,
right,
word,
cool,
word.
all right,
Gibbs, right?
but
Yeah.
yeah, Freddie Gibbs got nominated for Alfredo, but
Alchemist.
it's like, all right, we know,
Oh
we
yeah,
know
Alfredo.
Freddie, we know the Alchemist, all
Mhm.
right,
I actually heard that he dropped something this year.
exactly, and that's the
It
point I'm
actually
trying to
had
get at, like,
buzz. People was talking about it.
there it is. People, the culture was talking about it, and
Nobody
then
talked
from
about D
there, it's
Smoke
like, all
shit.
right, cool. I didn't even know D Smoke released an album.
Bro, my last time I saw this nigga D Smoke
It
was
was on Netflix.
when he was singing ahead of Bronze Bomber walking out
Oh
in
shit.
February. And he had all them black icons on the joint, and Bronze got his
forgot about
ass
that.
whooped.
Whooped.
That was the
Forgot
last
about
time I saw
that.
D Smoke, and I ain't fuck with that nigga shit since.
Damn.
I was like, I
Yeah,
said,
no, he has
damn,
to
D.
come. Like this album, like really has to hit after that, and
But
it doesn't apparently.
no, I was listening to it because I was trying. Like, I remember, like that was the first time I've said to myself, "Yo, he's conscious. I should like him." And as soon as that thought crossed my brain, I said, "He's a plant."
Yeah.
Because that should never cross my brain. Where I'm like, because
Right.
my thing is, I've always liked finding the conscious component in people's music. Like even Hove and J Cole did ratchet shit.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
Get off my dick
purpose
was ratchet.
like J Cole literally spent time in the lab trying to find the perfect ratchet formula to the point where Nas was like, "What are you doing, nigga?" So it's just like
Right.
so for me, I'm like I've noticed that when you're a conscious rapper, you oftentimes have to put the medicine in the candy. Like
Okay, but let me ask you this.
your discography is not full of conscious music. It's not full of songs that everyone
And on
is
top of
like,
that, is this his first album? Like,
yeah.
or does he have other?
No, it was his first album. He had a
Yeah.
project last year, but it's like this is his first
That's
album,
not
bro.
real.
Okay, so let
No,
me ask you this. You listened to the joint, right?
don't even
Joe,
remember
you
it,
actually
bro.
listened to
I
the
don't remember no
project?
songs off that joint. I
Okay,
listened to it 2 times.
so none of them so none of them joints like jammed, because now I'm thinking
None made the
about
playlist.
a David Banner quote from I don't know, maybe like 10 plus years ago, where he was like, you cannot sacrifice the jamminess of a song or album just to get a message across. It's like, yeah,
Right.
basically, yeah,
Right.
like you got to put the medicine in the candy. I'm like, yo, it's cool to be on that conscious, but does it jam, son? Like Kendrick's album jams. Like,
I'm not even saying D Smoke doesn't have some good songs that bang on there, but I'm just like, I get what you're saying though, Lou. It's
Right.
I think for
It's
me, it's not necessarily about hiding it in a banging beat. It's just your discography
as a whole.
As a whole, for instance, right? If you talk to a J. Cole person who likes J. Cole, on average, most of the times they will name his more conscious records, right? Because they're a fan of J. Cole. But if you ask people what their favorite J. Cole song is, it's most likely going to be one of his more commercial, less conscious records, right? He always slips some shit in there because he can't help it, and that's the point where Lou was saying medicine in the candy. Like he gave you Crooked Smile, and on the last verse, he hit you with a little truth about the war on drugs. He can't help himself. But it's like
Really
when I listen to D Smoke, I'm just listening, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It just feels like.
Does it feel familiar to Logic?
Thank you, Walt. I was just about to say that shit. He is the conscious version of Logic.
Right, because I'm like, yo, Logic can spit, but I don't like a lot of his songs. Like,
it's just not connected.
It doesn't connect.
Like it just, but there are a few joints where it's like, okay, I get it. Like this, if you went more in this direction, I could see you skyrocketing, or at least like going. You would have a different fan base.
But then you say to yourself,
if you went, yes,
Logic
but
is good. You always
Logic
give
is
him his
good.
skill set. You always give him his skill set.
Right. But it's like there's a
And
misstep.
this is what the misconnect is. When you
Yeah.
tell me your favorite rapper is Logic, you lose me. Because at that moment, I feel like you're telling me like, I don't know, man. It's just it's like you're telling me you like watered down Kool-Aid or some shit. It's
You like
like,
LaCroix.
yes, exactly. I like
That's it.
LaCroix.
You like LaCroix cucumber.
Or grabbing a, it's like
Like
Logic is
White
like exactly grabbing a White Claw.
Look, White Claw is not bad, man.
Look,
nah, you got
White Claw been holding me down.
But
This
hold
time, I'm
on,
not gonna lie.
are we saying Logic is bad? No, we're just simply saying it's White Claw.
It's what? Hey,
it's not the best.
It's not the
Exactly.
best.
Meaning, if your homie show up one night and say, "Oh man, tonight we get fucked up," you're not grabbing White Claws.
I'm grabbing Hennessy White.
You are grabbing.
Yeah.
Who was that? Gucci.
You know what you're grabbing, and it's not White Claw.
I feel like if you are an artist, a performer, I know people say it's not good to like pigeonhole yourself, but at the same time, I'm like, you gotta have like an artist that you go to. Like, if I want to turn up, I'm going to play some Migos or some Pop Smoke. If I want to be like deep in thought, I'm gonna go play some Kendrick, some Cole. I'm not gonna play Logic. I'm not gonna drink LaCroix when I got fucking Mike's Hard Lemonade over here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
Even some Tito's. Like
I
you got vodka, real vodka
like
over
Logic,
here.
Yo, bro, look,
Kendrick,
Malt liquor.
you even have
Mike's
that cheap
Hard,
ass 3 olive shit. You got the cheap ass 3 olive shit too, nigga. You rather drink 3 olives than fucking have a White Claw, nigga.
The White Claw, right?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, so for me, as I always felt bad that I didn't like Logic.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, like
no. It's okay. No, because like I've gone
nah,
back
just the way you say yeah, it's like we was in a
first
self-help group. He's like, yeah. Speak, tell your story, brother. Tell your truth.
That's it. Look, because I go back to Logic's second album, right? And there are only 2 songs on there that I like. That shit got 18 songs on it. You know, like there's a whole narrative. Like the man like really took his time to create this album, and like it's a whole universe. But it's like like I fucks with this song and I fucks with that song. Like, and it's because like what he's talking about. It's like, all right, you know, it does jam with the music well.
Exactly. If I take 2 or 3 songs off of his last 4 albums, I got one dope ass Logic project.
Yeah.
That is an EP, bro. 4 songs.
No.
Look, that's what record execs do. They're like, look, you made these 20 songs, these 4 can work. That's your EP.
Take 3 off his last 4 albums. 4 times 3 is 12. Boom. 12 song album. It's like when Drake dropped that double-sided joint Scorpio. Like, nigga, give me 2 off the B side and 3, 4, 5 off the flow. Right, and we got a dope ass 8 EP song joint that you should have dropped 8 EPs, nigga. But like I said, man, so that's how I feel about D Smoke though. I just feel like I'm listening to watered down Kool-Aid. Drinking some watered down Kool-Aid.
Snow Allegra wasn't nominated, nor was Summer Walker, which is
for
Summer Walker wasn't nominated for anything.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I had bangers on that album.
Right,
this is
like,
BS. I didn't even notice that.
I did listen to that album, and while it's not like my go-to shit, it was
It's a good album. What was the name?
It was trending for a little bit. It was trending for a little bit. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
and so, I think it's more the fact that she's a pariah than anything else, because she made some comments about some babies.
Yeah, she be saying some left.
She be saying some wild left-hand shit.
What'd she say about babies?
So there was a whole thing about like mothers and how they need to feed their kids earlier in the year. It was still during the pandemic. But she was like, hey, yo, you don't need to have that much in order to feed a kid. You can, all you need is like 4 apples and like 7 grapes. And then she was like, boom, an apple costs 69 cents. What else the baby need? Like, it was,
basically, she said some things that like rubs some people the wrong way, but
it was dumb.
But the music jam.
It was not smart.
Oh, I was about to say, damn, what kind of poverty she grew up in? Well, this bitch got apples.
Right.
So she's
And
so
then
skinny.
I just think about that, like those street children, like they see the apple shining in the fruit basket, and like them rural movies where it's like
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 rubies and
the
shit.
throwback, like the period pieces, and the kid just wants one apple, he steals it, and then the guy notices, it's like, hey, stop that kid.
Snatches his hand.
Summer
The
Walker's
apple pies in the
childhood.
window.
Right, man. But yeah, I just think it's interesting, but still this whole weekend shit, like that
Um,
it's an interesting theory.
we should have
From
known
the
they
dude
was
in the
going.
video.
Like, come on, son. We should have thrown them away as soon as they didn't give Beyonce the Grammy. Man.
Oh
One
yeah,
time,
yeah.
Kanye should have really walked up there, took that shit right out of Beck's hand, but like,
No,
sit
no,
your
no. He
bitch
was
ass
about
yeah.
to
back
too.
down.
He was really about to.
No, he needed to. Like, that was no, Kanye. We need you right now,
That was
nigga.
wild.
Yeah.
Snatch the
Yeah, it
mic.
was.
Hey,
I
look,
don't know.
when you know
2015.
that talking to that Jay-Z gave him after what do you call it? The MTV. He was just like, hey, look, don't do that shit again.
Yeah.
So
Nah, but they was funny how they all their faces and they started laughing and shit when he turned back around. He's like, nah, I ain't gonna do it this
right.
time.
Not,
But he really,
not today. Not today.
but he genuinely was just like, and even Beck was like, come up here, man. I'm like, because Beck wanted that viral moment so he could
Yeah.
spend the next 10 years making a career off of it. My
Mhm.
thing was, my shit is this, man. I don't know, bro, because I'm like, To Pimp a Butterfly lost in 1984, which was some bullshit. Um, Taylor, great, good album, but it wasn't no To Pimp a Butterfly. Let's get the
That's
fuck out of
another
here.
thing too.
Macklemore
Like
that same
Taylor.
year too.
Nah, the year
No,
before
no,
that,
no.
he
Macklemore
good
was
kid.
the
Lost
first
it.
album.
So like I said, we've had enough of these moments. So look, you know what's funny to me? It's like this is what the Grammys is probably like. Yo, son, they get mad at us when these motherfuckers don't win. Don't even put them in the nominations this year. That solves everything. Because bro, I saw the nominations. Meg got too many.
Well, I mean, and that's the other part of the equation too. It's like we know how
Politics,
much
man.
Meg has gone through this year, but we also know the politics because before this whole Tory shit, it was all label shit that we were talking about with Meg,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
right? So, and then on top of that, it was Rock Nation that she buddied up with from her label in Texas.
Mm.
And Rock Nation, like they got all the connections set up.
Oh no,
Politics.
they put the power
Exactly,
behind.
Politics.
Look, that's how what's her name got the nomination. Q-Tip was pissed off because that year Tribe didn't get it because they gave it to Layla's Wisdom. Beautiful album, deserved all of it.
Mm,
And that year, oh man, I'll never forget. Cardi won over Nip for Victory Lap.
yeah.
It's like, come on, son,
That Cardi album
Invasion of
was hard. I'm
Privacy
not
beat
gonna lie,
out
like I wasn't
Victory
beat
I
out
wasn't
Lap.
mad at
Victory
the
Lap.
Cardi
Yes,
album.
bro.
I'm not even surprised. I mean, she had bangers on that joint,
No,
but
she
she also
did,
had
but it
like a
wasn't
shit ton
Victory.
of
It wasn't.
artists.
No, it wasn't. No,
Yeah.
no.
I'm not even mad at
It's just
that.
like
That's a popular
no,
thing.
because like I said, man, it's like I'm like for instance, like right now Meg is getting talked about because it looked like she had some ideas for her clothes stole.
Mm.
She had a song from her album that may have been stolen.
Oh really?
Yeah, this one girl's like sounds just like my shit, and this one girl was like, I'm not even mad at her. I know people bring people's songs and hooks. She
Right.
probably didn't even know that this was like something I created. It sounds just the same, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I don't know, man. I'm like, I feel like all the fake shit is winning right now. Like the
Yeah.
only thing real about Meg is her body, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think she's fake. I just
no,
feel like it's
Well,
politics and a popularity
it's not
contest.
Meg the Stallion the person. It's Meg the Stallion the machine.
it is.
Oh yeah,
And
sure.
It's Meg Thee Stallion the rapper. That's what I'm talking about right now. Cause I'm like, no, I'm like, look, I know you most likely don't write your own shit. I just don't get the feeling that
I
she's
feel like she writes her
and
shit.
this is how I feel about like Migos and them too. I just don't feel like you mull over and think critically about what you're releasing. Like
Mm.
like we know
Ooh, actually,
Kendrick is in the studio with like incense lit and shit, tapping into the universe to make a great album. Like Cole is like in his basement
and you
cooking
think
shit
these
up.
niggas, these Migos niggas, not in the stew with mad amounts of weed and whatever they
No,
drinking?
I'm not diminishing them,
Like,
but what I'm saying is like they can't like I can take the Migos future and all these niggas because I have the other niggas, the Kendricks, the Coles, the Wale's. Like this is what I'm saying. Like right now in the female rap
Wale wasn't
space,
nominated either.
there's just not balance right now. It's only one type of thing winning for the female rappers right now, and I'm just disappointed by it. I truly am. Like
That's
Yeah.
how it goes.
You know, it's just disheartening. That's all, man. Because that body, yaddy, yaddy, that shit is retarded, bro.
That's always annoying to me.
She made it for TikTok. It was like she made it purely for TikTok, and I'm not mad at that. But like no, like my body, yaddy, video's dope as fuck. I ain't gonna lie about that. Video was fire, but I don't know, man. Like I said, man, I don't know. I guess I'll just be mad because Rhapsody, come on, son. No nominations for Eve, bro. But you got fucking Meg shit up. Come on, dog.
Right. And I also think it's weird that Kaytranada is up for Best New Artist. Like, this nigga been making music for like
so is
years
what's
now.
your name
like,
though?
Like, what the
fuck? Meg is up for Best New Artist. I guess it fits for Meg.
No, I can understand
that kind of
Meg,
fits.
But
there was somebody else who was
like,
yeah, I don't know. It's always weird because Nipsey was new artist too. This nigga was out for like 20 years.
Like, I remember when Crenshaw was released, and then nigga was like $100. I'm like, well,
it's usually predicated on when you release an album. It's politics. When you release an album through a label, that's when they can officially say you've come out as an artist, or you have a single through a label or a management group. That is like it's like like you were saying, it's like certified. Like Rock Nation's obviously a certified management group that gets people through those windows and those doors.
Right. But it was but Taylor's fucking sweeping right now.
Wow.
She released an album. It's called Folklore.
Who?
Didn't even hear about it.
Taylor who?
Swift.
Oh,
what
nigga,
other Taylor is there?
Nigga, I thought you were talking about her. But I was like, I know this nigga talking about Taylor Swift right now.
Yeah, nah, but she got dumb amount of nominations this year. I want to say it was like 9 or no. Beyonce has 9 nominations.
I think she's like second to Beyonce.
Well, Justin Bieber was mad because they put his shit in pop and he wanted it to be an R&B.
But you know what? This goes back to the
and Tiana Taylor ain't getting no nominations. Get the fuck out of here, Grammys.
A word? Yeah, no, Tiana.
And she made a whole R&B album. I'm talking about like some old school shit.
That was a good album though. But Bieber's point goes back to Tyler's point last year, right?
Mm-hmm. And Tyler wanted to be in pop,
right? And you know, Biebs wanted to be in R&B, and you know what? I'm okay if he is in R&B. If he said he made an R&B album, all right, judge it as an R&B album. It doesn't mean it's going to get nominated, but judge it as an R&B album.
No, I completely agree. I'm wholeheartedly.
Is it better than what John Legend put together?
Or Beyonce's
project? Like, if an artist makes a particular album, let them state what it is, and then go from there.
Well, it's kind of like the Grammys are like, Justin, you're popular and you're white. Of course you make pop music.
Of course you're pop, right?
Tyler, you're black. You're kind of popular. It's not pop quite yet.
Yeah, you're definitely a rapper.
Still urban.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, no, literally, like what black pop star do we have?
As to what their albums are too. Like
they answered that. I saw that category, best melodic rap performance.
Which I don't even know what that means.
That's
so it's all the new kids.
They added that.
Roddy Ricch,
Travis falls into that.
Young Boy, yeah. Travis definitely falls into that. Yeah, but everybody that sounds very sing-songy, yeah.
So I was just surprised that today they created a specialized genre for it.
Now, honestly, I think that was a correct move on their part because it might be like traditional hip hop and then it might be melodic hip hop.
And this is the thing. I think this is the thing about it because we're not gonna watch the Grammys. Black people on stage, like black people act. The things we love at the Grammys are like 30 minutes of the show total runtime. Right. Including and maybe 40 minutes if you include the performances. So I think that's what black people be like, yo, how can you nominate this, nominate that? I'm just like, bro, listen. They clearly is going to always spread the wealth. It's like for somehow Beyonce won music video of the year at the MTV Music Awards, but Taylor won best female video. Makes no fucking sense. But you can't, you gotta get the white people something. So it's like, because if you had the best video out of everybody, that means you had the best video out of all the females. So logically,
but she did win the bigger award that night, though.
But this is my point, though. But if we're logically speaking, if you won if you beat everyone, then you beat all the women. So you should have won both.
Beat all the men. You beat everyone.
Basically, she
You
should have been
are
walking
the
home. You know
queen.
that fucking statue pose they be doing with all them joints in their arm and shit.
Yeah.
That should have been her at the
Like
end
she
of the
carrying
night.
7 children.
Exactly, but they're giving her the video of the year in order to placate and hit Taylor Swift with this little joint. But that's how the Grammys is doing. I'm like, look, man. I remember that year we was like, who's gonna win? Who are they gonna give it to? And they gave it to Bruno.
Oh yeah, this was like
It's
Honestly,
3 years ago.
yeah, to just quiet
yeah,
everything down. They was like, let's just give it to this nigga
I
with this
I knew
walking magic.
I knew they were gonna give it to Bruno because that album fucking slaps.
It was a
It was
great
hella
album,
pop.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
cool.
I'm like,
but
oh no,
nobody expected that shit to win.
really.
No,
No,
because it was like, because it was, I forgot who was nominated that year, but there was something else in the running. Oh, nah,
This is
damn.
2017, right?
This is Damn. Damn was in the running, and we had
Yeah,
Damn.
because it's
There was
it
something
goes back
else.
to the
Nigga Taylor Project. I don't know.
but it goes back to those that are in the metropolitan areas and those that aren't. Because like when you listen to the radio, I mean, granted, when was the last time? You
Oh,
listened to
Bruno was running the
radio?
radio though.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
you go to 995, he's on there. You
Oh,
go
it's
to you go to like DC 101, you can hear that nigga Bruno Mars on there too, you know. But I might, you know, hear a jam from J. Cole or a jam from Kendrick on 939. You
I'm
know?
actually
But
looking
like,
for
nah, it was
albums.
different with Damn though, bro.
No, I mean
Damn
Jam
was
is
everywhere.
but I'm just saying, like on the course throughout the day, typically I'm not gonna hear a lot of Kendrick. But
You're
I'm
not.
gonna hear a lot of Chris Brown.
Much more explicit lyrics.
Like
Content is a lot darker
yeah,
and
I'm gonna hear a
harsher.
lot of Migos.
Exactly. You're going to hear
You
more
know, so-
commercialized sounds. Like I said, Bruno was the
You know,
easy win. I remember the one year there was it was they had it was Macklemore again, and then somebody else was nominated. No, it was Iggy was nominated for best rap album. J. Cole was nominated for Forest Hills Drive, and he had the line in there, "I lose the Grammy to Iggy and watch me crack a smile." And I remember instead of giving it to either one of them, the Emmys gave it to Eminem for this the Marshall Mathers LP2.
LP2.
Yeah,
Which is
and I
one of-
remember
Which I
that
liked,
Yeah.
but
it was the safe lane. It's a good project, and we're giving it to Eminem.
Everybody wins, right?
Exactly.
Because he's rapping, but he also looks like us.
Exactly. We can't give it to Iggy because we know the black folks flipping tables over.
Oh, no,
I'm not giving it to J. Cole because he literally said "fuck the Grammys" in Fire Squad. So he's like, so to your point, it's hard to be like you can't be shitting on these niggas and then expect to win some shit from them. Like,
Right. Hey, look, like I said, we create the Quincy. All right. I think we got a nice little setup with it too, because we already know, and then on top of that, we ask the artists what they want to be categorized as, and once they submit as to who they like, what category they want to be in, that's it. They locked in.
hey, so check this.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 2018 album of the year because I was really struggling. Like, what was nominated? So, "Awaken My Love" by Gambino, 444 Jay-Z. I knew that shit wasn't winning. Damn, Kendrick Lamar, knew that wasn't winning. Melodrama by Lord, didn't even hear it. 24K. I seen that. I'm like, who was not expecting Bruno Mars to win that category?
Yeah.
Facts. But I remember, damn, when you said Lord, man, that shit brought back so many. I can't stand that woman. It's not even her. I can't stand her artistry, bro.
Like she personally slighted you.
No. I remember the one year at the VMAs, she performed and didn't sing her song, but just did a dance to it.
She was probably 16 at the time. Like
No. I don't give a fuck how old you are. And it was like interpretive dance. And she was just doing this shit.
Get out.
While her song played.
Did she put like a Bjork?
Was this at the
but
Grammys?
It wasn't Bjork enough?
I think it was, but bro, she wasn't even singing the song. Like I saw Pink at the Grammys hang upside down.
I know Pink
Beautiful performance, one of the best ones I've ever
slay.
seen. Killed that shit. Sexy
slay.
ass Pink. She killed it. And you have the audacity to show up and you can't even dance. That's like, bro, Beyonce doesn't just come out there and dance, she sings. Like, when do you get I just think it was the most white privilege performance I've ever seen. It was the epitome of white privilege, bro. I never forget that shit. I was like, I watched that shit because I actually was fucking with her because a couple of joints she had, like that one hit she had, that smash. And I
Yeah.
vibed with it, and I was just like, I kind of remember also this was when appropriation was coming up, and people were starting to talk about them 808s start creeping into the pop music, and all the shit we fucked with in our brand, in our culture. All of a sudden, slow tempo melodic flows over 808s was common in amongst the suburban bands and shit. Like I look at I fuck with their music,
That was
but
like 2014-ish.
yeah, like I think 21 Pilots is just they're this generation's Linkin Park.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
I like
fuck
21
it.
Pilots
21.
too.
21's nasty with it. But I wouldn't. I'd be remiss if I act like I didn't hear the hip hop. I think there's no artist nowadays who won't be influenced through hip hop in some way.
Oh, absolutely not. No, it's impossible not to be.
Exactly. So I just think that you see that Billie Eilish for sure. Like,
Clearly.
Hey,
yeah.
but I will say one nomination I'm actually happy about is that Jack Harlow song.
What's popping?
Hey, yo, that shit slap.
For song of the year? I don't know if it's song of the year. I was just talking about that with
See,
my
that's
sister.
one of the ones that made the ones that made me cringe a little bit.
Hey, no, I understand why it was nominated. I'm not saying like it should win. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I understand why.
No, I understood why it was nominated too. I understood why all of them were nominated. I think I was just disappointed because I was just like, all these songs are like nothing. None of these songs are substantive.
I mean, the bigger picture, but as far as that,
but it's rap performance. I don't think he got nominated for best song. It's not nominated for best song.
Let me look at
the bigger picture.
Is it?
I'm looking at the categories right now. I'm trying.
It was best rap performance. I think he should win for that.
I know I saw Jack Harlow in there somewhere.
But I think what's popping was record of the year. No. It was song. It was best.
No, I feel like Pop Smoke Dior for rap performance. Pop Smoke had a very big year last, like 2019.
Yeah.
Dior's nice. Like, I think for performance though, a baby spitting his ass off in the bigger picture, bro. I don't even.
Yours.
It's like we talking about rap performance. I can't even. I don't even see anybody else really fucking Freddie rapping his ass off and Alfredo though.
It's between bigger picture and Dior to me.
Well, neither one of them niggas is winning. That's how you know that's
transition as well.
Yeah, probably. So, congrats, Jack.
Since we're on the topic of music, how do we like the albums that we did listen to?
I didn't finish.
We can categorize, and I guess we could make the list next week since Lou still ain't finished his homework.
I will say
everybody did their homework this week. That's what you're telling me.
Hey, I listened to all the albums. We did our homework, but for different subjects.
Okay, I'm looking at the categories for song of the year.
2 Chainz album is actually really good.
It's a good 2 Chainz project.
That 2 Chainz
it is, but you know what's funny about 2 Chainz? I think I had the same problem with 2 Chainz that I have with Drake.
Oh, it's the same shit?
Yeah.
Which
is fine.
I feel like
I think it's the same.
I don't listen to that enough to be fatigued by it.
Facts.
I like 2 Chainz because.
But the whole album, it gets exhaustive.
Oh yeah,
no, I like Chainz because like he knows what he's good at, and he stays in his lane, and he's consistently put out like to me good 2 Chainz projects. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Whereas Drake is like he's all over the place as far as like genre and
2 Chainz ain't switching up to a UK accent and shit.
Right.
Chainz was like, I can fuck your girl and fuck your mama too. It was like old enough to be
daddy.
Nah, he had one line where he was like, he said, I won't do the granny. I just run off with her Xannies.
That's such a 2 Chainz part.
And he wonders why he can't get a whole verse. Like, no, you don't, 2 Chainz. You know damn well. Wow. Holy that nigga on red all the time.
I can see Hove just chuckling to himself every time a Chainz verse.
Chainz.
This nigga Chainz funny.
It's funny though.
This nigga Chainz too funny. Hey, but you know the Young T and Bugsy project. That's a solid project.
That's some smooth shit right there, man.
Really good.
Did you call
it? UK boys. That's UK Ray Shremmerd, if you ask me.
Honestly,
who is it?
Because a plead the fifth.
What's their name?
The
Man,
project,
that's
yeah.
a
Young
good
T and
project.
Bugsy.
Oh, they
And
UK
Plead the
rappers.
Fifth is the
Be,
album.
yeah, because it
That's
has a UK vibe to it, but it sounds American.
it's
What?
very like smooth too.
Right,
None of the
right.
songs are like too aggressive and like in your face, like heavy
Nah,
trap.
nah. But they got some that are like, cause
They got bangers
if
on there.
You talking about
if I would have
Moneybag Yo?
just gone, no, no,
Nah,
no, no,
Plead the
no.
Fifth. It's the
Ple-
album. It's one of my albums I recommend. Young T and Bugsy.
But
You
because if I
recommended
would
it?
have just go off of Don't Rush, I would have hated the pro. Like if you're telling me like this is who they are, I'm like, nah, they more than that.
They make
They
generally good music to me.
right. No, no, you no. It was a really good project. I really liked it.
UK
And
Ray Shremmerd, man.
absolutely, I'm looking. I'm actually looking forward to their next joint. So yeah, man. Thank you very much for that.
I'll check it
All
out.
right.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I thought you did your homework, nigga.
Hold
That
on.
was definitely
I
it.
didn't even know you recommended this one, Lou. I thought you did Two
Is it in
Chains.
there?
But you did Two Chains, Pop Smoke.
It's Pop Smoke, and then that was the
That
third
was
one.
my third one. Was
Hold on. You had
Plead the
another one,
Fifth.
I thought.
Those are my three: Pop Smoke, Two Chains, and Plead the Fifth.
Oh, you know what? I thought because fucking that long ass Pop Smoke title. Aim for the moon, shoot for the sun.
You know that was
Okay.
two projects.
Nah. That's why I
Hey.
was confusing it. But okay, nah, it's in the middle. It's in the middle of my screenshots. But okay.
Mm,
All right. So I guess I got one more to listen to then. Well, all right.
yeah, man. No, that was a solid project though.
Okay.
I got like
So for me,
5.
I had pretty much already heard all y'all's before,
Hmm.
besides the Young T joint. Um, but I think for me, I'm really fucking with. Oh, damn, I forgot Flatbush released the album this year. No, that was last year. All right. Let me see. What the fuck is
Well,
the joint?
nah, they
Interested in
did
that
like
Freddie Gibbs
Spillage
album.
Village this year, right?
I do not remember.
Alfredo. Yeah, the Freddie album's dope. You rapping his ass off. The beats
Yeah.
are
I'm looking forward to that.
beautiful.
No, Alchemist is
Conke.
the
Conke was nice, Walt. I
yeah.
fuck with Conke.
Oh, so I realized it's just pronounced conch. That's
Conk.
my apologies. Yeah,
Oh, is that
it's
like the
conch.
fucking is that that's the Shell, SpongeBob, and Patrick would praise him. The Conch
There it
Shell?
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, all praise the conch.
Conch.
Yeah.
The conch cell.
Yeah. So I like
Yeah,
Fred.
man.
Fred is dope. Cloud, the Kingdom. You know,
I
it's
like the
real.
Reason project so far.
Mhm.
Reasons Project is fire, man.
Nah, I
And a
was
couple
also
joints
sleeping on
released.
the Limbo album too because I listened to it the
Yeah.
first time and I was just like, ah, but going back to him like, oh no,
Oh no, he's
Did you
this
talking.
put that
is
Amine project in there too, Joe?
yeah,
Yeah, he's talking real shit on that joint. Of course,
no,
Pray for
definitely.
Paris, still fire. Jeezy released the Recession too. That came out since we decided to make our
Fabulous.
list.
Yeah,
St. John
I like
repackaged a couple of his
Fashion.
old joints and some new joints with The Wilder World is
I
Burning.
listened to that St. John project. It's solid. Like
It's
Which
solid.
one?
his newest one he just released.
He kind of
Okay, I
rushed
didn't
it.
get to that yet.
Yeah,
I think he just wanted to get some stuff out there because his song took off in the UK over the last year. And
yeah.
like
Mm.
Rose is old
The
as
Roses
shit. Rose is
remix.
like 3 years old at this point.
Right. Yeah.
It
I was
was
just
like
like, wait
But
a
there's
minute.
like 4
I'm
different
telling.
versions of that song.
like 3 of the
But this is the
versions
one that's
came
in the
out this
commercials
year.
right now.
But yeah, 3 of the versions
Right.
came out this year. The original just took off with the remix in UK over the last year.
The original is hella slow, but it still goes. Like
The
every
original is the
version of
best
that
version.
song
The original is the best version to me.
slaps.
Word.
I like the IMAX back in the future version, but that's just because it's more up tempo.
Future
But
version
the
is nice.
original is awesome.
Hey, question. You think Uzi will ever get a Grammy nom?
I
No.
don't see it.
EXO Tour Life.
He said he's going back to his old shit though. He said he's going back to 2016.
I
He
don't know
had
what that means, but
so he popping pills again?
That's the. I mean, he dyed his hair again, so I don't know. I hope not.
Well, hopefully he's doing all this shit sober.
sure.
We'll see.
All right, I did want to talk about before we bounce. So we'll do the ranking next week.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Chappelle boycott Netflix?
Yes.
Well, not Netflix, but boycott him.
I had a
Brilliant.
question about that.
Go ahead.
Now, was he just talking about like don't watch the show on Netflix, but then in that same special he said like they took it off already, or he just means in general he's not getting paid off it right now, so don't watch it on
Correct.
Comedy Central.
It is.
Yeah,
Watch
don't
it on
watch.
Netflix.
I don't know because Netflix buys
It's the
license,
latter.
so
But Netflix took it down though. Is it still up on Netflix?
I don't know if it's down or
They said they
it's
did
just
it.
not they're just not promoting it anymore. If I'm Netflix, I'd be like, look, Dave, that's all good, but we done bought a 2-year contract for this show, nigga. We'll put it in the
Nah, but
background.
but you but you know at the end of the day that Dave is the guy and you want to make the guy happy.
No,
First of all,
100%. But I
first of
think to a
all,
point, like if they
I
took
got
it
season
down,
one right here.
they're still paying for it. Yeah, he ain't get none of that, Lou.
Dang, well, I ain't pay for this to be
I'm sure he
honest.
probably took it down.
They took it down.
Yeah, I believe it. He said they did it out of respect to him. I fuck like you said, Walt, they ain't gonna fuck with the
Yeah,
why
no,
would
they,
why would I fuck up the well for a bucket of water? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
motherfuckers got a bucket. I'm gonna piss in the well because I got a bucket of water. They can do. The well got water in it. I could eat from this for life. You know, HBO, he said,
Exactly. And then
why do
launch
you
me off
need
the
me now?
copacetic.
Like he said for HBO, like I like what he talked about Prince, why Prince referred to himself the artist, formerly known as Prince. He said, because they call you the artist in them contracts. And he just broke that whole joint down, man. He told a little story about, you know, when he was younger, he saw the dude doing the 3-card Monty, and he saw that his friends were in on the roofs, and he kind of just sat back and absorbed it. And he said it. His one of my favorite lines. I don't know if you saw his little 18-minute joint he released on IG, but it's just he said he had a good point about it where he talked about the Me Too thing, and he said there's a lot of women rightfully mad about how these men how they fuck, right? And he says I'm mad about how they eat. Like basically, like as an artist and just this perpetual abuse of the artist that the industry has is what drove him. Like he's talking about when he left for Africa. He said they said I smoked crack. He said I was a devout Muslim at the time. I didn't even drink or smoke. He says now I do both. And he took a drag of his cigarette. But it's just like I kind of think about it, man. I'm just like Chappelle's show was so great. You had to know it was genuine because of how great it was. And since it was genuine, a part of you has to understand that he was doing it out of love.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it out of love, you kind of have that bright-eyed, starry-eyed face. You know how we get when we make on something we fuck with or we love to do. And you kind of just are what you don't get tired. You grind as hard as you need to grind, and you see the fruits of your labor. The show's taking off. By the second season, it was the hottest thing in the country. Like, I think he had that sort of just blind wonder, and as he approached that show, and when all the commercial aspect and the money came into the room, and all the white men started sitting around with suits while he's making sketches, like, who's these niggas? These extras? He's like, why are they on set right now?
It was dirty, I'm sure.
Yeah, it feels, and that's how you know he's genuinely just like a down to earth brother, because that shit probably just fucked with him. I didn't even think about how fucked up you had to be to stay away from what you love to do the most for 12 years.
Right. Like everybody talks about the money, but it's like he stopped.
Yeah.
That man been doing stand up since he was like 14, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
He said that on stage. He said, what do you guys know what it takes to make you stop doing what you love and you're good at it? He's like,
right. And that's another thing too.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like he just went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Cold turkey.
Yeah. You know, he was doing like stand up in random bars across. He would pop up. He would pop up here or there to feed his Jones, you know, because, you know, he's got to get on stage. But it's like, Chappelle, motherfucker, he used to grab a speaker and pull up in the city, in the park, just start doing stand-up, which is dope because that's what they're doing now. Like, and Chappelle was already doing it. So when the quarantine hit, he was like, I'm ready for this. I was made for this nigga. I could do stand-up out in the cornfield.
I used to do this back then.
Yeah, he's like, I could do stand-up in the cornfield. So I like it. I like the fact that he asked us, the audience, to Now, don't watch the Chappelle show. It's so funny. I've been hesitant to click on that shit, and I didn't.
Mm.
I'm glad I didn't. Um,
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. Because I
but this
forgot it was on there.
restructuring of the artist conglomerate model is something I think we're going to be doing for a long time coming. I think your lightness and perpetuity throughout the universe, nigga, what? How can that be in a contract? Like, meaning I could
Bro,
do
you know
anything I want with you?
that was in a contract for extras. Like
No, I know it is.
They can do
like
whatever.
it's like it, but it's like that boiled down though. Like I can understand if you're the star or whatever. Like okay, you know, because people really gonna see you an extra
Yeah.
in
Yeah, that's
forever.
crazy.
You
Well,
know
you
what I mean?
know,
In perpetuity, my likeness.
because you know what
What?
happens, right? Let's say you pop and you become a bigger
Yeah,
star. They got your footage when you was just
yeah,
extra. You know,
right,
Yeah.
right.
um,
That's why you gotta blend into the pack. You gotta like stay in the middle. Don't be seen. Just blend in.
but I think that's an important conversation, especially for Dave in terms of restructuring the artist view worldview, or at least how
Yeah.
artists get their money. Hopefully, I don't think they will yield to this, but I guess like most things, some people will boycott, other people will be watching the Super Bowl. Um,
Yeah.
so hopefully people fuck with him and do it at what he has. What's the last thing we got to talk about? Wrap this joint up in about 10 minutes. Um, let's see
What
here.
else was on the list?
I mean, we
Uh,
didn't really talk about the cabinet.
uh,
Cabinet. Cabinet.
he put some black women in
Niggas got
there.
wood.
Yeah, she is our ambassador to the UN. Oh,
Yeah.
what is her name?
Man, look. Only thing I'm watching for is how many Republicans this nigga put back in his cabinet. I don't give a fuck about the black woman. That's cool and all, but I'm just watching to see what Republicans he puts back in positions of power
But like
after we done
Obama
voted
said,
this
he's going to put
bastard
quite a
out.
few,
Yeah,
and
I'm not with it.
that's what upsets me though, because it's like you can't. I don't know, man. Like it's going to be hard to convince people that there's other things more important to their life besides what Fox News tells them. Like
Mm,
honestly, when you got told to say Happy Holidays, what changed for you? What changed for
right,
you? Because
exactly.
white people at my job would talk about this shit. I told them honestly, bro, I can't ever join you all in this feeling of I'm losing my Christmas because I'm black in
Yeah, you're
America.
not
Nothing's
losing.
ever been mine. So I can't join you in this feeling of losing something that I never thought
But
was
also,
strictly mine to begin with.
they never lost anything. Nobody said don't celebrate Christmas. And on top of that, like how fucking pretentious of you to not recognize there are three other holidays that happen in December around the same time.
Those are,
Like,
but those are not American holidays, there, buddy.
also the Jews aren't American now.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
pretty much.
I didn't say that, but you do have a point there, my friend.
I'm just saying. Look, we what like a week before Christmas, Hanukkah ends, or maybe it's like
Bro, there
two
was a
weeks before, but
pastor.
still,
This pastor
like,
put a picture of the niggas counting votes on the screen behind him
Yeah,
and
I
proceeded to
remember
tell
that
his
shit.
congregation that he had a dream of Jesus flipping the tables over. And he said, "What are those in those pictures behind me? What are those? Those are tables. And what are on those tables? Those on those tables are ballots." He went and flipped the tables over. And then this nigga had a prop table on stage and flipped that shit over with the papers on it.
With
He's like,
mad
just started
paper.
flipping through pages. I was just like, nigga. But
you know, I
oh, my
get it.
bad. That's it.
I
It's
see it.
the last three vanguards of white supremacy. My bad. Congress, the Senate
Electoral college,
and evangelicals.
and yes,
Because
I
that
can
shit
definitely see that. But it's
is
like these
crazy.
niggas not even reading the Bible anymore. But the new ambassador
Cabinet.
to the UN, her name is Linda Thompson Greenfield. Wish her all the best.
Me too.
Who is that chick?
I want Joe to do nothing but succeed, kill it. Um, I don't think he's going to do much legislatively. Sean King just met with him and brought the mothers of the movement and families of police brutality and the legislation that we signed up for to basically push their like 100 things Joe can just do through executive order right away. He met with Joe's transition team along with the family members today. He said it looked like he said it was kind of a good meeting, kind of not. As long as they meeting with actual people on the ground doing stuff.
Yeah.
And shouts out to the young activist who lost his life in Louisville, Trey. I can't remember his last name, but it was sad, man, because we need young activists out here.
Absolutely.
I'm too old for that shit.
No, you're not. Shit.
Nah, man, I'm putting in the art. Fuck all that. Like I said, for me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm with you on that.
25 and younger, y'all be out, y'all hit the streets, nigga. I'm the one. I'll cash app you, nigga. You need some water and some sunscreen. I got you.
Oh, for real.
I got you. And if you have a march, I'm there
for this
for the
one. I feel like
I'm too old for protests, but I'm too old for protests, but I'll show up for the march. I can do the march. The protest though, protesting and marching is not the same thing.
Peaceful protest.
Look, I will be at the march.
I definitely understand.
I can hit a protest. Protesting for me, like we didn't protest. We went out there for a day. Like protesting means you out there every day. That's literally what it means. So
yeah,
like I said, I just can't. I'm too young. I'm not too old. Like if I was like, you know, saying around 20, the gas would have been lit in a different way. But you know, when I was 20, Trayvon didn't even happen yet. So
yeah,
you know, these kids
like 20, 21.
When what?
There was
when Trayvon. What year was that?
Nah, nigga, that's impossible. I was 22 when it happened, Luke. It's 2012.
Oh yeah, so I was like 19. Well, yeah, I was 19. 19, 20, same shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel you. I'm like, at this point, I feel like I have a family to look after. Yeah, I literally mean like, so I don't want to be.
I don't even think about that. I think about it. I always think about Pop, the interview with Mortal Man. He's just like, when you're young, you got the energy, you want to fight back, you want to bust back. He's like, when you're 30-year-old, they take the heart and soul out of a 30-year-old black man. But I realized, man, like the places I have access to as a 30-year-old black man with an education, you don't have the same access if you're 18-year-old inner city with no college degree.
Yeah.
You have energy to be in places and spaces that I don't, but I have resources to fund you being in those places and spaces. So I think that we all really do have to look at it and compartmentalize it. That's one thing I saw white people do easily. They all accepted their role in being anti-racist. You can't protest, donate, right? I think black people, we get convoluted. We think we can't do one or the other, or it means you're fake or a sellout or some shit. White people quickly showed up. They was like, no. You got water. You bring the sun chips. It's like the ability to just delineate tasks and have no one have like harsh feelings about the task they got handed. Hold on, you mean I don't get the clout of being out there and no, nigga. No,
that's real.
Like that girl who went viral for roasting. That girl who went viral for roasting that police commission. She was trending this week because she was coming at a bunch of artists because that young man died in Louisville. And she was just like how she's out in the streets, shit is real for her, and motherfuckers get to make one song and go back home and don't even get to address shit again. She brought up the baby, and then a couple like day later, maybe hour later, the baby tweeted out that he's gonna donate the money from Bigger Picture to a worthy cause.
Oh, Lil Baby?
Yeah, Lil Baby. And
yeah,
the Baby's project dropped too, which was got some heavy joints on there. His the brother. Yeah, Gucci Pico. That shit is hilarious. I love that nigga. Yeah. He said, I was with the Gucci Pico trying to tell y'all bitch ass niggas come vote.
And we were doing so well too.
No, because that's his brother killed himself on that day. When he was out there in North Carolina at the rally to vote on November 3rd, it's the same day his brother killed himself. So in the song, he's like, I was out there in a Gucci Pico trying to tell you bitch ass niggas come vote. and I wasn't there for my brother, and he killed himself. So he's just mad about the fact. But I just like the fact that he's like, you bitch ass niggas come vote. Like he's just mad about the fact. That just lets you know he didn't want to do that shit. He's like, I didn't want to be out there, nigga. And he said, Ed had this stupid Gucci P coat. You should look at the music video because he takes the Gucci coat off and throws that shit and throws that shit on the ground. He's just mad. It's a sad song, but it was just funny to me because I'm like, that's the baby like to it, the nutshell for me. This nigga just like, tell you bitch ass niggas. Right. He's like, man, fuck the president. Long live G, which is his brother's name. That shit is hilarious, bro.
Hey, bet. Long live G, indeed.
Long live G.
I respect that. Damn,
all right, well,
that's heavy.
We can wrap her up. All right. Thank you for watching. This has been the TWEOM podcast. I'm your host, Joel Morris.
The other host, white beater wear, headphones rocker, occasional do-rag on the podcast wear, Louis 15th.
And most spectacular, flamboyant host, Walt Reed. Peace.
Peace. Thank you for watching.
Deuces.